11 Houston, you're good in 1 minute. Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are go for TLI, over. Apollo 11, thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome you all to this webinar on space and satellite technologies for national security. We have a very distinguished panel of C-suite executives here with us today, and I'd like to take a minute to introduce them to you. We have Massimo Claudio Comparini, Deputy CEO and Senior Executive Vice President for Observation, Exploration and Navigation from Thales Alenia Space, who is also CEO of Thales Alenia Space Italia. Welcome. We have Cüneyd Fırat, who is the CEO of CTech. Welcome.
Yes.
We have
Hi.
Alime, Özyıldırım, Deputy Director of Tübitak Uzay.
Hello.
Hi, Alime.
Hi.
We have Ramsey, Khanfour, Vice President for Global Government Sales in the MEA region at SES. Welcome, Ramsey. And we have Hasan Hüseyin Ertok, Vice President of Satellite Services at TÜRKSAT. Hello, Hasan.
Hello, Aarti. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
So thank you all for taking the time to participate in this year's Global Sat Show. I'm really pleased to be moderating you here today. Now, the topic, of course, is the topic of national security is, in fact, gaining in importance with every year that goes on, and particularly so for Turkey, given its location, its important land borders, and also its large maritime region. In this session, we're going to explore what trends the industry is seeing and how satellite technology is evolving to respond to increasing demand for security services. Massimo, please. The space industry is one of today's powerful technology innovation drivers. New and innovative space assets and systems are increasingly critical to ensuring security on Earth, and space technology, infrastructure, and services serve both civilian and military objectives. How is Thales Alenia Space positioning itself in this challenging context, and what projects do you have to cover these global needs? Massimo, the floor is yours. I'm not sure if we're seeing some technical difficulties. I believe Massimo has a presentation.
Thank you, Aarti, and really pleasure to be with you. Connection is good, just to be sure. Okay, you hear me well?
I am not hearing you so well, Massimo. I don't know if others can hear you well.
me well, Aarti?
Not really.
I couldn't hear as well.
No, I couldn't hear.
Aarti, yes, but you hear well now?
It's stopping and starting, unfortunately, Massimo.
Aarti, you hear me well? I see you. Hello? I'm sorry, the connection is not. You hear me well now?
I think it's better now. Yes.
Please proceed.
Okay. Please tell me if you can understand me, if the line is better now. I mean, the connection is better now.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, it's better now. We can hear you, Massimo.
Okay. So, okay. So thank you, Aarti, for your question. And of course, you're right. Space technology it's particularly relevant in this context, and it is important all over the domain: communications, Earth observation, and of course PNT, position, navigation, and timing, which again called the different domain: space telecom, Earth observation, optical, radar, and navigation. Of course, TAS it's a player in those domains with specific asset in the telecom and the observation and navigation. It's also true that the evolution of the enabling technologies it's pushing for more dual use, so it's more and more difficult to have just technologies thus for the security and government domain that cannot be used for the commercial domain. So this is a really important element in order to feed also the security and the government applications with the best of the technology that we can have from space today. I hope that everyone can hear me well. No, non funziona.
I believe everybody can hear you on the live channel, so please continue.
Ragazzi, ho il telefonino, voglio dire perché.
Massimo, if you can hear me, please continue.
Yes, I hear you. I was just trying to you hear me well now?
Can anybody hear Massimo speaking?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I don't know if
I'm afraid I can't.
if the panelists can hear me well now. I don't know, to be honest.
Hey, that's much better. Now I can hear you, Massimo. Perfect.
Okay, so I will go and I will be quick. I don't know if you hear me before. So I was just okay. I hope that now I know that now it's okay, the connection. So I hope that
Exactly.
you understand a bit of my first statements. Of course, it's really relevant, the dual use technologies, in order to have the best we can inject from a commercial technologies to what is related to the national defense and to government applications. It's important for Earth observation. It's important for telecom and for navigation. We had, of course, specifically a big project in the past years, which was Turk-1 in the optical technologies. And of course, we have a full spread of solution in the optical and in the radar context for the Earth observation. Earth observation was the most important in this respect, together with the communication. I don't know if I can show a few slides.
Yes, please do.
No, Hati, if it's possible to share a couple of my slides.
Please do, Massimo.
Io non so se c'è un delay molto forte, there is a delay on the communication. No. Un altro panelist, così. Because there is a really delay in the communication stand. It's okay. Okay. So may I show some slide if you can share that? I don't know, through Skype. I should share through Skype.
Yes, I understand that.
I will on the that of course we have an evolution also in small sat. So constellation it's an element able today to conceive global system both in telecom and the Earth observation, in order to have a global coverage, in order to have a high revisit time. And we have, of course, and in this, I think this is one of the most important. This is one of the more important trends. We know that in the coming years we will have quite a boost in the launches of new constellation, and this is something that we are actively working in DNI, defense and intelligence, for government application. As before, we have in our product range optical solution, radar solution, starting from our long-standing legacy, and of course we are also in the telecom, context. Again, I think that dual use it's important. The upstream technologies, the space technologies, so important also to the huge amount of data to be leveraged for the applications. And through the Space Alliance, through our sister company Thales, we are of course covering all the value, all the main. Turk-1 said before, it's an example state-of-art optic. We have at the same level example state-of-art radar going really in the deep submetric resolution for the Earth observation. So in short, and I'm really sorry for this best communication that we can imagine in this time, but really our space to secure solutions, government and national defense are over the different domains, and of course this is also very important for the kind of G2G, government to government agreement and industry partnership in this respect. And I will be glad later on in the to give additional element and contribution if you.
Thank you, Massimo. Thank you, Massimo, for that. That was very interesting. I hope everybody could follow you, even though we didn't see your slides. I'd like to move to Cüneyd at CTech. Cüneyd, CTech is an important player, and I know that security, including cybersecurity, are increasingly important in today's world. In your view, how secure and resilient are satellite communications for typical national security applications and today's needs?
Okay, thank you. Bringing me the voice. I would like to say hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My pleasure talking in here in such a good and interesting event and in such a interesting topic. Actually, I have a presentation as well, but still didn't show up. I think now, but maybe not very clear. I'm sorry for that, but I will do my best to go over this presentation. Even though my emphasis, based on your question, will be secure communication over satellite space, I would like to first tell about a little bit about CTech, and I would like to also just touch typical national security applications over the space and satellites, then proceed to secure satellite communication and conclude. So CTech is a middle-sized company. We are not very big. Even we, as you tell, we have very, how shall I say, very important activities from our country's point of view. CTech is a mid-sized company and also a subsidiary of Turkish aerospace industry. Many of us may know Turkish aerospace industry is the biggest aerospace institution, corporation in Turkey by Turkish government. So half of CTech is belonging to Turkish aerospace industry for the last 3 years period. But CTech is a 16 years old company. We have activities in both space segment and ground segment. For the space segment, we are proudly part of TÜRKSAT 6A program, and CTech is responsible to design and implement the telemetry and telecommand and ranging system. Our activity is not limited to TÜRKSAT 6A, as you may know, is the first indigenous communication satellite of Turkey, designed by Turkish companies as a consortium. And more than TÜRKSAT 6A, CTech is also taking part some other Turkish local satellite programs, observation programs, and also other communication satellite programs. And our space segment activity is extending day by day. This is, of course, making us happier as a mid-sized company. And for the ground segment side, we are much more older at this side. From the very beginning of the company, we do a couple of other different variety of SATCOM solutions. We provide anti-jamming secure EPM terminals to Turkey, and we also offer to some international customers. We have some solutions for SATCOM on the move, which is also getting higher attraction in the satellite communication side. We have many different variety of these solutions, as you might see in the screen, and we provide some hub system solutions relevant to those systems, as well as we provide some management and planning systems supporting and those systems. And when we look at from the very generic view, from very top, what are the typical applications related to national defense and security? This, of course, we have lots of things from space. Like, for example, our GSM cannot work without space support. You know, without GPS support, our GSM system even could not work, and this is a very big headache in case. So, but I just want to touch more direct activities like navigation support is very critical from the space for national security applications, very strategic. ISR activities are directly related to national security, of course, and resilient and strategic communication is also very critical from the space side, and which I will also emphasize more on that. Ballistic activities are increasing. Even the defense side and attack side, ballistic is also, you know, through the space domain. Launch capabilities and also search and rescue activities. Those are the main things that is related to national security and defense applications. Today, I will a little bit more emphasize on the secure satellite communication that you ask as well. What is the importance of that in national security? Of course, security is a very broad concept and sense, but as a kind of our specialty as CTech, I would like to concentrate on the EPM technology. This is very critical. This is worldwide technology. This is a concept, electronic protected system measure, they call it EPM, electronically protected measure, that aims to protect your signal, to secure your signal. So there is such an activity, such an application in SATCOM as well, called EPM SATCOM. What is EPM? It is a secure broadband waveform technology, and also it supports data security and communication security, especially transmission security and network security. This is based on frequency hopping, and it allows, it provides you low probability of intercept and exploit. So, as you see, those are the major features providing the security side of this satellite communication, you see. So, what are the major benefits and use of such secure SATCOM EPM technology? That provides communication resilience under jamming conditions. This is very important. You know, electronic warfare is now one of the biggest issue now in the in national security and wartime. And this communication technology is immune to communication intelligence as well. This is also in adversary and controversial situations very critical. It can be used. It is both military and homeland side. I mean civil side for security purposes. So you might be exploiting this technology for intelligence as well, and some government applications regarding the security. And it is eligible for diverse type of use cases and cross platforms. What other else? It could be the main and the only communication channel in crisis time, I mean in harsh times, like wartime, homeland security challenges, and crisis time. This is very important. This is very, very important because in such times you may not rely on terrestrial communication. In case you have the sufficient security and resilience as might be the only handle that you can attach through satellite communication. So it could survive even the terrestrial communication backbone is down somehow, and it is independent of geographic dispersity, and also it could connect and people and parties over the horizon within the thousands of miles of ranges. Those are very important points and features that is making secure SATCOM very, very critical for national security applications. So I will just tell two example scenarios which are very, I think, typical important for such cases. So in one scenario, it's a homeland security scenario I call because it is, if I go over the scenario incidents and facts, there might be multiple terrorist attacks to many critical infrastructure at the same time. This is very possible. Of course, when I for example, tell about this scenario, I always remember the Turkish experience 4 years ago. You know, this coup attempt. You know, so that could happen. I mean, for any other country as well. So multiple terrorist attack to many critical infrastructure. Major telecom hubs and satellite operation centers might be dysfunctional. Government officials are intentionally moved to unknown places or moving around for the sake of security. That might be the case. They may not sit in one single position. Timely intelligence information and situation awareness is very critical, and people are frustrated and should be fed with the right information and directions by the official people, by the government officials, all the people. Because in such cases, people are frustrated. So the only secure and resilient mean of communication, I think, is the protected SATCOM. In such a scenario, for example, as you can see on the map, you can, without any, with independent of any terrestrial communication, under this situation, you can connect your government officials, as well as they may communicate to the people or towards the television channels. This could be possible by such an architecture. I mean, you can even create your mobile hub, and if you have such an architecture already implemented in your country or in your government, you can do this, and you can be successful to handle such a case in such a scenario. So one other typical scenario is the wartime scenario that could happen under, in this scenario, for example, you might have some attack to your territory by controversial air, land, and navy entities. Enemy might have a strong electronic warfare and jamming capabilities, and they may apply area denial and anti-access or controversial region. That means that they can block your communication and your systems over some region of interest. And situational awareness and coordination between friendly forces is very critical under these circumstances. SATCOM is or could be the major communication mean to the general headquarters and main command posts, to the field, people on the field. And controversial jamming is so strong that usual communication systems are mostly not useful at that case because of the jamming and electronic warfare. And enemy command is active and strong to intercept friendly forces communication. And to have an effective defense, friendly forces should have cross-platform beyond line of sight, I mean the secure SATCOM. As I describe you such typical scenarios, everyone can see that, first of all, SATCOM is very, very strategic in such national security instances, okay? And there is technology called EPM that CTech also providing this technology. CTech is one of the few company who is providing its own technology products. CTech has such SATCOM terminals. So we believe that under such unexpected, unwanted, but real cases, secure SATCOM is the maybe only way to coordinate and communicate people. Just I want to show you such cases. And till now, there are already, for example, this technology is used in NATO. NATO has such systems, okay? And some other NATO countries, including Turkey, has such systems already in their military domain. But as these electronic warfare challenges and threats are increasing, this technology is going to stretch to homeland security more, and the technology will develop itself more. This is what we can see from our standpoint. So EPM is becoming more and more attractive. As by the way, this picture is a real product picture. You can see that CTech is developing and providing to the customers. So EPM is becoming more and more attractive as electronic warfare and communication intelligence technologies are improved, because electronic warfare is becoming more real threat. More utility in homeland security and cyber security features. As you tell, cybersecurity is a natural part of this. Okay, without cybersecurity, I believe no system will survive in near future. No system. Any system will need cybersecurity measures. As EPM preferred to be the main backbone communication, data rate requirements will increase. So EPM should have to provide more broadband and more become more faster. EPM will be defined as a software platform, STR platform, and special architectures like IMA, integrated modular architecture in avionics. So EPM will penetrate, will be a part of such architectures. Enhanced resilience, anti-jam capabilities will evolve, I am sure. And one important and very interesting point is that I know that several satellites that is going to be in service in near future will have onboard EPM technology as well. So because what I tell you now was at the ground segment, but EPM is now becoming eventually the part of the onboard equipment. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't exceed my limit, and also I didn't. I hope you enjoy my presentation.
Cüneyd, thank you. That was a very interesting. And what we see from your presentation is how wide is the offering from satellite communications and how many different secure services it provides. So we will come to you, Cüneyd.
Sure.
Can I ask if you're not speaking, please mute your microphone. I'd now like to turn to Alime from Tübitak. Alime, thanks for being here. Now, I know that Tübitak is heavily engaged in space research in Turkey. Can you please tell us about Tübitak's space perspectives for national security? What technology capabilities do you have that will serve the national security, for example, of Turkey? I know you have a presentation. If you want to show that, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I tried to share now. Just give me just 1 minute. I'm not sure it's working. Do you see that? No, it's not yet. We tried several times, but I don't know why it's not working now. Do you see my presentation or not?
No, I'm afraid I don't see it. Yes, now we see it. Perfect.
That's okay. Okay. Just give me just 1 minute to share the full screen. No, I think it's okay.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Aarti. I would like to extend our warm welcome on the behalf of the Space Research Institute. And it's my pleasure for me to address such an important topic at the middle of the pandemic outbreak. Therefore, I would like to wish you and your loved ones and audience and everybody here good health and prosperity at the first place. Before talking on the topic of today, I would like to present a couple of slides about what we are doing in Tübitak Uzay, and then I will return to the topic of today. Okay? As you may already know that our country has attributed special emphasis to space capabilities, to space activities since early 2000. Recently, as you mentioned, and our President of Space Agency mentioned that, with the establishment of the Turkish Space Agency, efforts to space research and capacity building and international collaboration have been increasing in line with the National Research Program. Tübitak Space is the leading research and development organization in Turkey. And at the beginning of the 2000s, the Tübitak Space started its activities on space. We pioneered a lot of space-relevant activities. Rasat and Göktürk 2 Earth observation satellites, you can see it on the slide, were launched 2011 and 2012, respectively, are great importance in our space activities. And I would like to share you that these satellites outperform very well, and they extend their expected lives. And based on this experience coming from the Rasat and Göktürk 2, and we undertook the responsibility of the flag forward new and assertive programs such as the Image and TÜRKSAT 6A. In the previous webinar, our president, again, Turkish agency presidents, also mentioned that these satellites. And Image is a high-resolution optical satellite that set a new record in imaging resolution in our Earth observation satellites. On the other hand, TÜRKSAT 6A is Turkey's first indigenous communication satellite that promotes the development of the new technologies and the production with domestic capabilities. And both of these projects are being led by Tübitak Space. And our core competence covers a wide range of diverse capabilities and technologies. We can design, manufacture, integrate and test satellite platforms, subsystem, equipment. For example, you can see most of them on the screen: communication subsystem, attitude determination control system, power system, onboard computer, and electrical propulsion system. They are just a snapshot of some of our capabilities. We can perform all necessary analysis in-house. For example, structural and thermal analysis, radiation analysis, environmental analysis. All software are also developed in-house by our own engineers. Moreover, we can also develop ground stations, control station, and the ground support equipment as well. And we can also develop different kinds of payload. As mentioned earlier, we already have space heritage for optical payloads. In this slide, you can see some of our equipments with the technology readiness level. As you see that we have already gained space heritage for Göktürk and Rasat platforms and the relevant equipments. And based on this experience, we are continuing to develop new generation equipment. Again, you can see some of them on the screen with the current status. They will be integrated into Image and the TÜRKSAT 6 platform, and we expect that these platforms will be launched in a couple of years. Now, I would like to return the topic of today, national security. As you already know that security has been the first priority of the humankind throughout history, and still top concern of the modern state. In the past, where basically the security means that the protection of nations against a military attack. Wars used to take place between regular armies, but in the 21st century, we realized that it cannot be just only regular armies, uncontrolled, unpredictable, unorganized perpetrators as well. Nowadays, the definition of the security is a little bit changed. It becomes more extensive. It includes reacting and recovering from the natural and man-made disasters, preventing and investigating crime due to organized or unorganized crime or terrorism, protecting the infrastructure against the natural and man-made threats, including cyber attacks, involving borders of security and data protection. For that reason, the national security approach of the modern state should be arranged in a way to tackle all modern threats. Now, I would like to talk about the benefits of using satellite technologies. Space is a strategic effort contributing to better human life, independence, security, and the prosperity of the countries. Enormous advantages have been achieved in different fields. For example, observation from space make available the protect the environment, forecast the weather, and disaster management. In addition, several different kinds of the spin-offs are being used in our daily lives. Satellite technologies provide important advantage to national security compared to conventional technologies, such as global coverage and fast and instant services without terrestrial infrastructure and the temporary network solution. Furthermore, satellites could provide images to security authority. Emergency managers need vital and latest information for disaster preparedness and recovery and response to this action. And therefore, we can say that satellite technology's contribution to national security can be investigated in three major topics: communication, intelligence surveillance, and navigation. In case of the severe disasters, the ability to collect the crowdsourced data through internet or mobile communication may become extremely limited. Even in case of the fires, earthquake, and some chaos, as the Dr. Fırat a couple of minutes ago mentioned that, and the in situ data cannot be reached easily. The absence of the sufficient up-to-date data introduces certain limitation for crisis management. Hence, combining in situ data, satellite data could improve the reliability and accuracy of the information. That's very important for the emergency managers. In general, national security elements use communication satellites for voice and data communication across the world. And space-based imaging system facilitates observation area without geographical limitations and, of course, provides the situational awareness. Furthermore, GNSS system, Global Navigation Satellite System, provide interrupted and reliable position data regardless of geographical and meteorological conditions. And nowadays, national security for defense systems can be like an uninterrupted operation theater, starting from the surface of the territorial lands and seas and reaching the highest altitudes above space or far away from the territory. Security authority needs to deploy interconnected, interoperable, and coherent network within this operation scenario. In this case, satellite communication can meet all these requirements. Also, space-based observation system provides the monitoring of the intended area, again, without the geographical limitations. Therefore, we can say that the integrated use of communication, satellite communication and navigation solution with the space-based imaging system could make nations better secured and better protected against the threats coming from the natural and the man-made. And in line with the global trends in satellite technology and the national security, Turkey takes all necessary measures for our nation. Since the start of 90s, Turkey has invested in satellite technology. And I think Mr. Ertok gave detailed information about the TÜRKSAT satellite. But the family of TÜRKSAT satellite provide the communication infrastructure and services for both civilian and the defense authority. Starting from the 2000, as I mentioned earlier, Turkey has been developing its own remote sensing satellites, along with the Göktürk-1 satellite, which procured from abroad, and indigenously developed satellite Göktürk-2 will provide national security with imaging, space imaging capability. And these satellite images are also used by civilian authority for monitoring the ground asset and disaster and border entry as well. All these capabilities make Turkey a key player in space technologies, which focuses on protection our territory and the maritime borders. And we also believe that in some cases, the security cannot be concerned one of the nation. Countries should collaborate to combat security threats. Our country shows constructive attitude in fight against the security threats of the other countries. We are open to international collaboration with our neighbors and other countries. For example, we are closely working with the international organizations such as NATO and UN against the security threats arising from the nature and man-made. As nowadays, as we know that the technology is evolving very fast, but at the same time, the security threats are always evolving. In order to tackle current challenges, the emerging technology should be incorporated with the satellite technology. In coming years, unmanned and automated systems, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence are becoming widely spread. For example, formation flight of unmanned air vehicle require precise position data for flying and communication with each other. When they fly away from their territory, sometimes it's not possible to control by their ground station. In this case, communication satellites could control these unmanned air vehicles. Moreover, the surveillance data should be transferred to the ground station, but in some cases it cannot be again possible. In this case, again, communication satellites can provide uninterrupted data links. As we already know that with 5G or higher, the world becomes more connected. Network operators will be able to complement their 5G services with the satellite connectivity. Therefore, we can say that satellite technologies will provide enormous opportunities to combat security threats at large scale. And as a conclusion, we believe that the space technology play a key role in ensuring and promoting the national security. The use of the integrated communication, navigation, observation technology, and infrastructure will become common for prediction and early detection of emergencies and alerting the populations. Complementary of the satellites with the terrestrial capabilities will provide more secure and protected nation. As Tübitak Uzay, we will continue to support our country by developing cutting-edge satellite technology that can be valuable for national security organization. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Alime. That was very interesting. I must say I really enjoyed your slide with how security has evolved across the centuries. We will come back to you in the discussion. Thanks. I'd like to move to Ramsey from SES. Ramsey, SES is, of course, a global solutions provider. Can you, I know you have a presentation, could you tell us something about how is SES differentiated for government solutions?
Of course. Good day, Aarti. Good day to the participant for this important, very important webinar, actually, and then for all the listeners. I will try to share. I know we had some issues initially with sharing. If not, I will ask the colleagues to put my, voila, here it is. So, okay. First, allow me please to start on slide 1. Yes. Perfect. Thanks a lot. So next slide, please. I will just provide a very short overview on who's SES, and then the potential solutions that SES. Then we'll focus a little bit more on the government aspects of our capabilities, namely, national security, disaster recovery, and so on. So let's go to the next slide, please. Yes. So again, SES, was formed back in 1985, headquartered in Luxembourg, in the heart of Europe, and then the company launched its first satellite in 1988. Sorry, and then since then till today, we have grown organically and inorganically as well through various acquisitions, whereby. In 2015, we created a joint venture with the Luxembourgish government to launch our satellite, which is mainly dedicated for military usage, MILK-A and X-band. And then in 2016, we fully integrated O3B, which is the MEO solutions technologies that SES has today. And then finally, just a couple of years ago, basically we had 2 business units, one for video, dedicated on video business, and one for data network, more on data applications, including the government vertical. Next slide, please. Okay, again, today we are really a global company. We have 54 geo wide beam satellites covering the globe. We have 3 geo high throughput satellites, and then we are the only satellite operator with MEO, with a MEO constellation. We have 20 satellites MEO constellation, serving our customers for various applications. We are plus minus 2,000 employees, and then in terms of revenues, last year was in the range of 2 billion euros. Next, please. Very good. This is our global coverage. This is illustrative, but we cover again 99% of the globe, and then all of our satellites, be it the geo satellite or the MEO satellites, are all interconnected through a big network of teleport and uplink and downlink facilities throughout the globe. We have more than 25 locations to uplink and downlink the traffic, and all these point of presence, if I may say so, are interconnected between each others via a redundant MPLS-based network based on fiber rings. So from any to any, we can serve via satellite, but also we can route the traffic anywhere in the world, not necessarily satellite all the way, but we can also use our backbone networks that is existing today. Next slide, please. Just a very brief summary on potential on our existing customers. So currently we serve around 700 enterprises and broadcasters. Sky, ITV, Canal Plus, Orange, AT&T, European Commission, STC, Technia, the US government, and then many others, just to name a few. Next slide, please. Okay, so we again focus on 4 key verticals: video, which is the typical video value chain from video broadcasting, but also to play out services. We also have a second vertical, which is mainly the fixed data or enterprise verticals, and it includes all kind of VSAT and satellite connectivity to fixed sites, backhauling, trunking, oil and gas, anything that is fixed. And then we have the third vertical, which is the mobility. So here, anything that is moving, be it commercial jets or business jets, and obviously cruise and commercial shipping in oceans and seas. And the fourth vertical is the government vertical, and then we will have a deep dive on the government vertical, the follow-on slide, just to show how it is relevant and what are our capabilities in the topic that we are covering today in this webinar. Next, please. Very good. Also the second, next. Okay, so again, just to summarize and to be as specific as possible in terms of SCS Network's global government solutions and capability, obviously we have gained throughout the years and working with major governments, and be it the military or the public sector around Europe, North America, but also in the Middle East and Asia. We have gained obviously in-house experience. We have the right technology when it comes to the GEO and MEO constellations, but also we managed to build a very solid, strong network of partners that can complement our solutions. Thus, we can say today that we are offering not only megahertz or just raw capacity, we are offering end-to-end managed solutions, be it managed solutions in the space, but also on the ground, just to make sure that whenever we offer something, it is end-to-end, it's well secured, well encrypted via our partners, and so on. What we do, we enable high-performance network communications in three, obviously in land, at sea, and also in the air. And here, again, focusing more on the military applications as well. And throughout our experience, the last 30, 40 years, currently we are serving 58 government across 29 countries. We have more than 50 clients and 15 US agencies we serve in the state, but also around the globe. And then we have dedicated regional and global government sales offices in 26 countries. Next, please. In terms of differentiated approach, again, as I mentioned, we are the only operator today offering GEO and MEO high throughput satellites in the three traditional frequencies band, which is C, Ku, and Ka band, including obviously the military Ka band on our LuxGov satellite. And then we offer fully managed end-to-end services. What we are focusing on all civilian and public sectors, but also on defense applications. When I say defense, it's like defense, security, and border control, information gathering, redundancy, backup solutions, disaster recovery. As my colleague mentioned, this is a very important application. And then we also very in depth with satellite-based solutions serving the humanitarian and then governance and e-government and all the e-platforms that typically government would like to use in far away or remote areas. And then our differentiator, again, as I mentioned, we are the only multi-orbit, multi-band service provider. We are globally managed, we offer global managed services. And then on top of the existing 20 MEO satellites, we will see in the next couple of slides how we are preparing to be even more future-proof with our next generation MEO constellation, which is the O3b mPOWER, coming to be launched in 2020 and operational in 2022. Next slide, please. Okay, just a glimpse on the specific services and application that we serve today. From intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, we serve manned and unmanned airborne missions. We are very, working a lot with the Navy and Coast Guard connectivity. We serve land-based forces. We do communication on the move, border protection, and homeland security. We serve also a lot of military for moral, welfare, and recreational type of applications. We are very active especially with the United Nations for humanitarian missions. Disaster recovery, and then obviously anything related to VIP travels. I'm talking about the very important personnel, be it the government or the ruling parties. And then obviously one of our key strengths is complementing any of the local satellite or regional satellite operator, such as our colleagues at TÜRKSAT, for example, with the global coverage to serve, for example, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Turkey. And this is again one of the area I think we can, although we both have, we both are satellite operators, but I think we still have a lot of areas of collaboration with regional and local satellite operators around the globe. Next slide, please. Again, this is basically it's a summary about what the three areas we focus on, or the three areas we maneuver in. Starting about the space segment capability with our multi-orbit and multi-frequencies constellation and strategy. On the network side, also where we have basically, when it comes to our local point of presence or local teleport connecting to our end users. And then when it comes to services, all these government applications and services that I just mentioned, SES today is capable of working mainly on space segment, but also our strategy that has shifted the last few years is really, today we are proud to say that we can cover the three dimensions, not only the space capabilities, but also the network and ground segment capabilities, but also the services and application layers, sometimes in-house, but sometimes also we have a very solid network of partners and local partners to complement end-to-end solutions for our customers. Next, please. This is my final slide, and hopefully we can discuss further on during the order on more specific questions. But as you know, basically we have the 20 MEO satellite solutions. The MEO, obviously, it's a plus minus located at 8,000 kilometers in the space. Each existing satellite today can have up to 10 beams. Each beam has a diameter of 700 kilometers, and each beam can go up to 1.3 gigabit per second in terms of throughput. So per site, we can offer a little bit more than 1 gigabit per second. And then the good thing about it is we have, because it's MEO, it's low latency. Average, we are talking about 130, 140 milliseconds. And for critical government applications, for cloud type of applications, latency is key. Geo satellites are well enough and well positioned to serve many government applications, but there are certain applications latency is key, and thus we see that MEO, not only with the high throughput per link, but also the slow latency can have an edge on many other type of constellation. And what we're doing, again, our MEO is a proven technologies. It's commercially viable, it's technically viable since 2014. And now we're pushing even further the envelope. And then we're gonna launch the next generation MEO capabilities, which is O3b mPOWER, with 11 satellites over the number of years, starting in 2021. What this will bring, obviously, it will, each satellite will have the flexibility to go and provide more than 5,000 beams. Each beam, based on the custom requirements, can be can start with 15 megabit per second up to 5 and even 10 gigabit per second, depending on the type of terminals and RF electronics we're using. And then obviously this will have a very low latency since it's going to be MEO. And then it will be a very productive constellation because the beam will follow the business. So it's not a fixed beam. Assuming today, let's take in Turkey or another region, there is a project that will take 3 years of satellite connectivity, and then the beam itself or the business application needs are shifting on the ground to a different location or a different country, then the beam can go and be steered towards this particular new area where the business and the satellite business is required. So again, this is a very superpower satellites that we will be launching in 2021. On top of the technical features, the capabilities, the flexibility, we will have also the feature of having in-country gateways. We know for certain government or certain countries there is requirements for regulatory aspects or security concerns to have a country gateway. With O3b mPOWER, this will be a possible option, so the customer can use his own in-country gateway, to serve the end users' remote sites. So with these slides, I hope that I was as brief as possible, but straight to the point. I'll leave it to you, Aarti. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ramsey. That was very interesting. I'm going to jump straight on to Hasan and TÜRKSAT. Hasan, tell us, I think you don't have a presentation, so we're going to have a chat. We have seen from the previous presentations, national security can be defined in many different ways. It can be seen from different perspectives. Tell us, what does TÜRKSAT do for Turkey's national security? And in order to meet national security requirements of the future, how do you think your company needs to evolve in coming years?
Okay. I'd like to thank you first, Aarti, and my colleagues on this webinar. It's a pleasure here to be here and as a part of this webinar. And probably I should say at first that I'm very agree with my colleagues. So whatever they say so far, it's all related with the national security and the satellite services. So as you just mentioned, I don't have a presentation. I think it's going to be a kind of repeating ourselves because they're going to be the same thing. I can just cut to the point. We should look into the national security as it was discussed in Alime's presentation. National security is something to secure our lives as a nation, as citizens, and all our institutions in our countries. So whatever we need to secure ourselves is called as a national security. So I think there are two aspects of it, military and non-military aspects of national security. Military aspects, we all know about it, and we have military, we have land forces, we have Navy, we have Air Force, and they all require different services for national security, to be able to do what they're doing for the security of this country or of their countries. And also, when it comes to the non-military aspects, we should look into how we live our lives in a daily manner, and keeping that lifestyle and being able to live in a sovereign country in a lifestyle that we have is also something that part of national security. So when we look into this, I think it comes to a point when we have to deal with natural disasters and how we recover from them, and how we communicate, and how we foresee that they are coming. And also on the other side, energy security is also part of national security, because we need energy to live our lives. So we have to secure our energy sources and all the pipelines and all the lines that brings our energy. And also on the other side, environment, that we have to have a lively environment to live our lives. So our forests, our water resources and everything. So I think all of them are considered as a part of national security. So what do we do as a satellite operator to provide our government during this national security quest, I can say? So for the military aspects, our first satellite launched in 1994. So we are almost as old as SES. So we've been in this satellite operation business for more than 25 years. But we are a local operator. We didn't go global as SES. So we just decided to be a local operator. Right now we are operating 3 satellites, as you know, 3A, 4A, and 4B. Now we are providing satellite communication services to our government. On the military side, we provide services to our Navy, to our land forces, and to Air Forces as well. I mean, and all the terminals, fixed terminals, or the terminals on the move, SATCOM on the move terminals, we provide SATCOM services to our military. And as you know, our coverage area is covering Turkey and the region, the Middle East region, and goes all the way to Africa and also to the eastern part till Pakistan and Afghanistan. And we all know that how important this region is for the world. And unfortunately, we've been having a lot of military activity in last years in this region. So it's very important for us to provide that capability to our military. And we have been doing that with our satellites. And on the other hand, for the non-military aspects, as I mentioned, energy security, national disaster response and recovery. We work closely with all the ministries related with these fields. We work closely with the Ministry of Interior because they are overseeing the emergency response services in Turkey, and we provide services to emergency response services in Ministry of Interior. We work with Turkish Red Crescent, which is the equivalent of Red Cross in the world, and there we are also providing services to them over our satellites. We work with the Ministry of Energy. This is the hot topic in last few months, that we are trying to find oil and gas fields in Black Sea region and also in Mediterranean Sea. All those ships are connecting through our satellites, the TÜRKSAT satellites. And also within our land, within Turkey, we also work with Ministry of Energy, as I said, for the security of pipelines, for the oil pipelines. And also we also work with other ministries to mitigate our efforts on avoiding forest fires, let's say. This is also another topic that we have to consider as a national security. So we provide services and institutions, every institution and every ministry in Turkey, military and non-military, to provide our nation's security. And we have been doing that for, as I said, for 25 years. And as the second part of your question, how do we evolve to provide these services? Now, TÜRKSAT is just in the middle of a transformation period right now, because you see in the banner behind me, it's a TÜRKSAT 5A satellite, which is going to be our new bird, which will fly in a couple of months. So it's going to be operational early next year. And it will increase our capabilities, increase our capacity mostly on data services. And I think that the most important turning point for us will be with our TÜRKSAT 5B satellite, which will be launched in mid next year, the second quarter of next year, and will be operational before the end of next year. That's going to be our new flagship satellite. We're going to have more than 50 gigabit per second capacity of Ka-band capabilities. And we cover whole Turkey, Black Sea, Aegean Sea, and Mediterranean Sea, and all the regions that we are right now focusing on with the current development. So TÜRKSAT is becoming more a TV broadcasting satellite operator to become a data satellite operator. So we're going to find that balance, and now we are currently focusing more on data services. And it's going to be a really important part of our services in the coming years. And as I said, we will increase the capabilities with our Ka-band satellite. We also provide some ground equipments like SOTM antennas that we developed with a company in Turkey, and now it's being used by the Coast Guard in Turkey. So it's going to increase our ability to provide turnkey solutions to our customers and to our government. So we are trying to do our part to provide safe and secure communication to our government, to our customers, to our military, and all the institutions in Turkey to provide national security for Turkey. And we will keep doing that. And in the coming years, as we all know, the new frequency bands will be available for satellite services like Q-band and V-band, and it's going to be like they're going to provide us huge amount of data that we can provide through satellites. And with upcoming projects coming in next 5 years, because we are planning to one of our satellites, TÜRKSAT 3A, will be out of date by 2028. So its lifetime will be ending. So we are planning to replace it with a brand new satellite in coming years. So we are following the technology, we are following the new technology, we are following the needs of our customers, of our government. So when the time comes to prepare ourselves for that satellite, we will look into every details that we need to provide to our customers. So as I said, we are transforming TÜRKSAT to become a more data-aligned satellite operator, and we're going to increase our capability, we're going to increase our footprint in the coming years, and we're going to become a really strong satellite operator for the region and for the national security of our country. And Ramsey just told that even though we are a local satellite operator, of course we have coverage not on Turkey, for also for the region. We are also working with global operators like SES and some other companies to provide data services for other countries as well. We are also open for that. I mean, we are not just doing for Turkey. Of course, it's our first priority, but we have capacity and we have coverage. We are also open to work with them. We are also working with them anyway in some of the bidding process that we have right now. We are also able to provide data services to other countries. And national security, international security, they're all important for all of us. And we are here to provide that service to our country as TÜRKSAT.
Brilliant. Hasan, thank you so much. Now, unfortunately, we lost quite some time with the connectivity issues at the beginning, so we're not going to have that for questions, but I would like to ask one. Look, the space sector is geopolitically relevant, and we see many countries trying to develop their own space technologies and become self-sufficient. How important do you believe it is that countries should be self-sufficient in space technology development? We only have a couple of, so I just want to ask that one question and open it to the floor, if you'd like to make a quick comment on it. Mr. Comparini, can I start with you? Okay, it seems we still have technology issues, connectivity issues. Cüneyd, can I come to you, please?
Okay, thank you. I got your question, and I can say that to some extent, each and every country has its, if possible, its own satellite infrastructure and technology, because
Yes,
as I wanted to
it's an important
emphasize.
question. I'm sure.
Sorry, I think there is an interference. Maybe. Shall I proceed?
Colleagues to mute.
Shall I speak or just wait? No,
go ahead, Cüneyd.
Okay. As I tried to emphasize, satellite communication and satellite technology is a strategic technology for each and every country. That means that under war or homeland security challenges, the satellite technology and satellite communication is critical for your survival. So if you could not control, if you could not own your own systems and technologies, to some extent, of course, there is a border between government and strategic applications and commercial activities. I'm just telling about the strategic and government side. I believe that satellite technology and satellite communication technology is critical, and if possible, be local, indigenous, at least to control it.
Thank you. Alime, would you like to come in?
If I understand your question correctly, I think that I already mentioned during my presentation and the use of the integrated system. I think the communication, space communication, Earth observation and navigation, and should be used in the same time, because you can benefit from all of them, I think. If I understand your question correctly, and just only space communication is not possible for the national security. You have to look at your territory, or without the geographical limitation. Is it possible? Only possible from space, or you need for example, all of us using the navigation data in our cell phones. We have to. It's in our daily lives. So navigation should be used in also national security systems. I'm
Thank
not
you,
sure I
Alime.
answered your question or not.
No, but you made a very important point as well. So thank you for that. Ramsey,
Thank you.
would you like to come in on that question?
Yes, yes. So yeah, it's important that that countries build, the space capabilities. I think the question is how, and I think time to market also is an essence. Today, there's a lot of there are three big equations or dimensions: be it the financial aspect, be it the technical and spectrum aspect, and then the local capabilities. And the three of them, you cannot just have one or miss one in order to have the right space capabilities so it's really a matter of how to build it. And I think throughout the last 10-15 years, many government, including very strong government on certain governmental programs, they opted to collaborate with operators. And again, the collaboration can be it the standard lease capacity, or even more a virtual payload, or building a hosted payload together, or any type of collaboration, not only on the space segment itself, but also on the ground segment. So yes, it is important. Nevertheless, the most important is how, in order to make sure that you have the right technology, you build the right capabilities locally, and then you leverage again the existing satellite infrastructure. So you manage your time to market instead of waiting 5 or 10 or 15 years in order to have the right capability to serve your national security needs. There are ways that it will take you 3 or 4 years with the right technical capabilities built up, but also the right commercial and business models that will enable many countries to be more in the space domain. Hopefully, thank you.
No, indeed. I mean, we can't do anything with space technologies unless we collaborate, and indeed fostering local capabilities is also fundamental. Hasan, in the last minute, can I ask you to comment on the question and close?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's of course important because in order to move with your capabilities, or in order to have your national security, you just cannot rely on others or others to provide that service to you or to technology to you. And there are times that you are stuck with the services or the technology that you're providing from other countries. In order to resolve that issue, I think you should have your capabilities to build your own technology, especially on the critical side, because, I mean, as my colleagues say, that there should be a balance. Let's say in TÜRKSAT 6A, if you try to build each and every component of that satellite, you will not be able to finish it in 20 years. So that doesn't make sense. But you have to have a system level engineering, architectural level knowledge and system level engineering in your country. And also you need to be able to create your own equipments, critical equipments. You need to design and manufacture critical equipments on a satellite. I think that's the key point. And so it's going to give you availability and visibility when the hard time comes. So it's very important. But on the other hand, you just cannot go on and build a satellite just for your own needs, and that should be a target for that. I mean, that you should be also targeting commercial success. You should also be competitive in the international market with your products. So this is how you evolve and how you provide better quality equipments, better quality satellites, and better quality systems and services. So I think this should go hand to hand into the future. You should be able to create that, build that capability to your own country, but you should always target to be competitive in the market and create a better satellite for the world.
Brilliant. Hasan, thank you so much. I'd like to thank everybody, all our panelists, for taking the time for this session. I apologize to everybody for the connectivity issues that we have faced. I have been asked to close now. We have the opportunities for satellite operators session starting in just 5 minutes. So I look forward to moderating that one in just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Aarti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for it.
Thank you. Okay. We're good.
Apollo 11 Houston, you're good in 1 minute. Apollo 11, this is Houston. You are go for TLI, over.